Hello, writers. Come write with me. My name is Michaela Greenwood. I create worlds for mind adventures. Welcome to my channel, Write with Michaela. I'm very glad to have you join me on my channel, so don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell so you can go on this journey with me. Today, we are going to explore the world of a well-known author who wrote under the pen name of George Orwell. He has written several books, including 1984 and Animal Farm. In today's episode, we are going to discuss Part 2, Chapter 3, or actually it says I, in a book club format. I expect you have read Part 2, Chapter 3 before watching this video. The version I read is published by Signet Classics. The copyright was 1949, and the copyright was renewed in 1977. This chapter starts with them leaving to go back, taking a different route and leaving at different times. I believe that they had met on May 2nd. They weren't able to get back to the clearing again, but they met to get it on or make out in the belfry of a church that had been bombed. The church had been bombed like some 30 years ago. They were able to make out or get it on there. Other than that, they kissed only one other time, and that was when a bomb had gone off near them, and Winston thought she was dead. Winston and Julia planned different meetings, and each was less than half an hour. Most only 15 minutes. Because remember that they've got telescreens and stuff, and so they don't want to be seen together on these telescreens together. They only whisper to each other in crowds, and sometimes they would cut off sentences if they saw any members of the party. So they would stop and then finish later. So they're cutting off their sentences, and so you'd have to listen to this and remember what was said. And they didn't whisper except on the main streets in crowds. So they would be on the main streets in crowds. They would whisper. They saw a party member, they would just stop their sentence mid-sentence. And that's it. Julia was very involved in many volunteer things and encouraged Winston to do some volunteer work as well. Julia felt if they complied with smaller things, it would be easier to break the rules of the bigger things. So Winston volunteered to screw metal bits together. He suspects he might be helping to put a bomb together, but he doesn't know. And what he hates is the noise, plus the singing or music on the telescreen. When they meet in the bell tower, they talked for hours. They checked often that no one spotted them. They filled in all of their previous conversations. Because if you're talking and then you finish, that's so broken up sometimes the non-contiguous part, people might forget where you were, and they might think that you were on this part when you were on this part, whatever. So they fill in all of their previous conversations. Winston had told her he was 39 when they met at the clearing. Now we know that Julia is 26 and lives in a hostel with 30 other women or girls, and she hated it. Julia did work in the fiction department, so Winston had that right. But not in the writing. She doesn't write the fiction. The planning committee was in charge of that. She worked on the machines and the tricky electronic motor. She didn't care for the final product or for reading. So Julia had stories of things before the 60s from her grandfather, who vanished. Julia was in sports and gymnastics. She led a few things, and she was even in Pornosec for a year. Now, Pornosec was a sub-department of the fiction department, and she had her first affair at age 16, and then that man committed suicide, so the party didn't get her name. So Julia was of the mind that you couldn't beat the party. So trying to revolt was stupid. The party wanted to take away or stop you from having a good time, so she snuck in as many good times as she could. She wasn't rebelling against the party, she was just evading it. Winston knew they could never marry because the party or the committee wouldn't allow it, and he didn't know where Catherine was. And Catherine was the wife that he had, and now they're living separate, and he doesn't think he ever got divorced from her, but, he doesn't know where she is. But he discussed his marital sex life with Julia, and Julia seems to know about it. It turned out that she knew because of what they had taught her at school. She didn't know necessarily of Winston and Catherine. She knew about the circumstance that they were in. She learned about that in school. Julia felt that when you used sexual energy for sex, then the party lost control. So they tried to get people to expend pent-up energy in the 2-minute hate and getting excited about Big Brother or the 3-year plan. All of those things were just sex gone sour. Now, Winston feels she is right, and there is a direct connection between chastity and political orthodoxy. Having passionate sex was dangerous to the party. At the same time, the party still needed families, so they could encourage children and loving your children, but they trained the children to be spies and report on parents. Apparently, the character told some things out of order, but they are in the belfry. Apparently, the chapter told some things out of order, but they're in the belfry, or belfry, however you pronounce that, as they're talking about going around the party. So Winston thinks about a time with Catherine when they were on a community hike and got too far behind the group. He remembers how nervous Catherine became, but he spied some flowers and pointed them out. Catherine leaned over the cliff to look, and he held onto her waist to steady her. Winston and Julia discuss whether or not he should have pushed her over the cliff. At first, Winston thinks yes, but then he thinks no, and that it didn't matter in the long run. In Winston's mind, they are all already dead. But Julia argues that he can feel her, so would he prefer to feel her or a skeleton? So the chapter ends with Julia drawing a map in the dust for them to meet at the clearing once again. So she's drawing the map so they can go a different way. And that is the end of part 2, chapter 3, or chapter III. Now there are several things to unpack here. First, doing all the things the party asks for and expects, including volunteer work. The more someone does these things, the less the party would suspect them of thinking critically. So Julia participates. She chants, she hands out pamphlets. She looks really good to the party. Unlike Winston, who was sneaking home, a diary to write in, and trying to master his face because he loathes doing many of the things. Julia just does it and doesn't waste energy on thinking about it. Yet she doesn't believe it and doesn't use newspeak when talking to Winston. The other thing to unpack is the energy and the passion humans have and trying to channel that into things the party wants and eliminating that passion and energy going into things it doesn't want. There are sayings like, love conquers all. So the party arranges marriages. No passionate love between spouses. Kids are taught love and hate from an early age. but this is my statement. Kids are taught love and hate from an early age. So, think of the song Celebrate Youth by Rick Springfield in 1985. He says, Youth don't know hate or lies. They don't know black or white. These things are taught. So parents might love the children or be proud of them, but the party teaches the children to hate. So if we were to set up a government with ultimate control in our stories that we write, how would we deal with energy and passion? Where would we have our characters channel those things? That's why we're reading. We're learning how George Orwell set up his world, and now how two different characters are reflecting on things. Winston thought of it this way. Julia thought of it this way. Now, of course, the two characters are 13 years apart, right? So we have to keep that in mind. Julia has grown up after the revolution, and Winston knew some things before the revolution. So they have different perspectives from that. One's 13 years younger, one's 13 years older. There's different perspectives. They have different experiences. One's a boy, one's a girl. They have different experiences. So they have all these differences. But we're seeing the two different, and the just because Julia's younger doesn't mean she sees things like, oh, just go along with it and don't worry about it. Because I have friends that are older than me that have, oh, you can't change it, don't worry about it, just go on. Just make the most of it, just go on, go. So, it's not the youth that makes her think that way, it's her personality, her perspective. So leave a comment on if you think this is going to come crashing down on either Julia, Winston, or both. Meaning, does the party or thought police find out about their affair? Leave a comment on how much you would volunteer and do things the party asked you to do. So the party wouldn't suspect you're doing things you shouldn't. Or you're doing things that it didn't like. Leave a comment on how much or how often you would risk doing things forbidden, either explicitly or implicitly. Leave a comment on if you think the party has the women on some sort of birth control. Like I think they did in the book The Giver. I think they had some sort of birth control for both sexes. They had some pill that those people were supposed to, after they turned and they said something about a dream. This is The Giver. I think when they reported that they had a dream to their parents, or the dream had a certain sort of content, then they started the children, like pubescent children, on a pill so that they wouldn't, well, I don't know if it was birth control or it was to lower the passion level. I'd have to read that again. There's a book that you could put in the comments that we could do as a book club. The Giver. Also, leave a comment on if you would like to live in a hostel with 30 other women or people, or if that's too many people living together. And some of that has to do is if you're an extrovert, you love all the people. If you're an introvert, you need your alone time. But if you're an extrovert and you still wouldn't like living in this hostel with 30 other people, I want to know about it. Leave that comment. I don't like being in crowds. I don't like being around a lot of people. I am an introvert for sure. So that's why I wouldn't want to be in a hot. And I'd like to have my personal space. And I don't know that I could have my personal space if there were 30 other people even living in my house with me. So Anyway, I hope you enjoyed part 2, chapter 3, or chapter I of 1984. Make sure you leave your comments. Feel free to disagree with my thoughts. This is supposed to be a book discussion. Remember, I'm not an English major. I'm not an English professor. I just gave thoughts. You give yours. Maybe I think more like Winston. You think more like Julia, or any other character, or any other perspective. That's fine. It takes all kinds of people to make the world, or to make the world go round. Right? The world go round. That's an idiom, I think. Remember, reading is good for writers. It helps us see how other people create their worlds. So read part 2, chapter 4, which is going to be an I and a V. It'll be like this, IV. Maybe that's backwards too. IV. Okay. Join me Friday for Elementals. Join me Tuesday for Jargon and Your Cave story. Join me Wednesday for part 2, chapter 4, or IV, for 1984. Leave a comment if you have an idea for a writing prompt, or a term you would have me discuss, or your favorite term so far. There are so many words and ideas. Or you can leave a comment on the next book club book for us to read. I've repeatedly said my thoughts are Lord of the Flies by William Golding. Don't forget to visit my website, bymckella.com, read some character bios, and send your writings and chapters to writewithmckella@gmail.com. Leave comments on your favorite characters. If you hit the like and subscribe and the bell, then we will continue to write together, and other people will have a higher chance of finding this video and this channel, since your likes will push the video out to a greater audience. Thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate your participation. If you know someone who would like this video, please share it with them. This is McKella with Write with McKella. Bye for now.